welcome back and thank you for watching. If you're new here, my name is Maria, and in today's video I have some very beautiful home decor DIYs. This is also sponsored by Cricut. I am so excited to show you the different materials and different techniques I will be using throughout the video. So I really hope you guys enjoy this, and if you do, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time I upload. With that being said, now let's craft. From Dollar Tree, I will be using two of their Valentine signs, the ones that have the frame on them, and I'm going to start by removing the frames. To make this into a large sign, I'm going to place both of the signs side by side. Then I'm going to start adding some popsicle sticks to the back. Now to cover the back, I will be using this Dollar Tree craft paper, and I'm going to just glue a big old piece to the back, and it's going to look so much nicer like this. After that, I'm going to paint the sign using some white chalk paint. One thing I forgot to do before I started to paint this is use spackle for the center, so like that it looks like a nice large sign. I did do it after and it still worked, but I do recommend you doing it before you paint it. I wanted this sign to match the furniture I have, so to do that I did have to mix two colors, a wood stain and some black paint, and let me tell you guys, I nailed it. It almost looks just like it. After that, I'm going to glue the pieces to the sign, but I won't be gluing the center pieces because I want this to be a large sign. Before I move on, I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I am so excited to show you how easy it is to use this Cricut Maker machine. This machine is a beauty. It cuts over 300 materials including adhesive foil, burlap, canvas, chalkboard vinyl, faux leather, even delicate materials like crepe paper and fabric. And it also does thicker materials like matte board and basswood. And the list goes on, guys. It's so easy to set up. It comes with a USB core, or you can use Bluetooth and use your mobile phone. It makes it so much easier to use Cricut design from anywhere. Cricut Space offers you a lot of designs that you can easily adjust to your own personal style. For this DIY, all I did was go into start new project, then I hit the picture, and then I typed in family, and then I scrolled down to the one I seen that I liked the most, which was this one. I really love this font. And I didn't do much to this because it already looks beautiful as it is. All I did was just make it a little bit bigger. Now it's ready to make, but before that I'm going to prepare my vinyl and my mat. The vinyl I will be using for this DIY is this permanent gloss vinyl that Cricut sent to me. Cricut has different kinds of mats, light, standard, or strong grip. For this one I will be using the light grip. Now I'm going to just cut some vinyl using this paper trimmer. This mat is a 12 by 12, so I am going to just place my vinyl on my mat. Now it's ready to go. These are very easy steps to follow. I turned on my Cricut machine, then went back to my computer to press make it. Once I did that, I clicked continue. After that, it gave me the material option, which you have to put what kind of material you are going to cut. Mine is vinyl. I press vinyl. Then I went back to my Cricut machine to press the load button. And it's so easy. It tells you literally what to do every step by step. All I had to do is press that little button and it loaded my mat. After that, I just clicked the Cricut symbol machine, and then it started to cut. I was so amazed watching the machine cut. I can't believe it. This machine cuts so many different material. Now, once it was finished, I did have to click the arrow button to unload the mat. Now I'm going to remove the vinyl from the mat. I do recommend you doing it upside down or the other way, because that way you will not mess up your vinyl. I am learning, so now I know next time I remove my vinyl. Now to weave it out, I am going to use the Cricut little tools that came in the kit, and this makes it so much easier to do that. As I'm doing this, I forgot that the eye had a dot, and I didn't realize that until I looked at it. I was like, wait a minute, this had a dot. So I did go back to the vinyl and found it, and then I just put it back, and I was able to save this. I'm going to use some of the Cricut transfer tape. It is very easy to work with. I just place it right on top of my design and remove the backing of the vinyl. I then placed it in the middle of my sign, and using the little scraper, I'm going to start scraping it and then slowly remove the tape. Now for Where Life Begins and Love Never Ends, I went back to the Cricut design space and went into text and just started using the different fonts Cricut has to put Where Life Begins and Love Never Ends. I did make the love a different font. I'll have all the information down in the description box in case you want to try those out. Once I was done designing it, I did print it out using the Cricut machine. Once it was printed, I did print it in one paper, but then I went ahead and cut it in half because I want this to go long ways. I'm going to repeat the same steps, weed it, then add the transfer tape, and then it's going to be ready so I can transfer it to my sign. And that is it, guys. That is it for my first DIY. I think it turned out beautiful. It looks stunning and it looks so high-end, and it was so easy to make. For my next DIY, I will be making a two-piece set. So I am going to repurpose this old DIY I made a long time ago. I am going to cut this into two different sizes. Next, I'm going to stain these in the mint wax wood finish in classic gray. I wanted this to be more darker, so I did add some black paint. As you can see, I added way too much black paint, so I used a napkin and wiped some of it off. I also like how this made it look. You can see more of the wood details and it looks so much better. While this is drying, I'm going to go to my Cricut design space and type in the word face. I scroll down till I seen the one I liked. I inserted it and made it the size I wanted. Now for this vinyl, I will be using this beautiful metallic texture vinyl that I got from Cricut. It is beautiful. It has three different colors: gold, a darker gold, and silver. I am going to use the silver one. After that, I'm going to just weed it, then use a transfer tape to transfer it to the board. And I'm using the longer one for this one. So for the other one, I am going to go back to Cricut Design Space, and then all I'm going to do is just make the vase wider. After that, I'm going to repeat the same thing, just print it out, weed it, and then transfer it to the other side. And look how beautiful they look. The vinyl is stunning. I love it. This was so easy to work with. Now to finish this off, I'm going to use this Dollar Tree greenery. I'm going to cut some stems off because I am going to glue them to my sign. I will be adding 3 stems to each vase, and I'm using some hot glue to glue these. To finish this off, I will be making a bow using this burlap ribbon. I will be repeating the same steps to the other side. I'm going to add 3 stems in the bow. And that is it for this beautiful 2-piece set. I think it turned out beautiful. For my next DIY, I will be using the Cricut ceramic coasters. These are the size of them. So when I go to my Cricut Design Space, I'm going to go to Shapes and insert a circle. I am going to make it smaller than 3.6 because I do want it to be smaller than the coaster. I will be making 4 coasters. The vinyl I will be using is a Cricut infusible ink. It comes in 4 different colors, and the color I will be using is this green. It looks so light right here, but once it's transferred on, it turns out into a beautiful green. And don't forget, you do have to set on the material you are going to be using. I messed up one time. I forgot that I was working with this material instead of the regular vinyl, and I thought I had it all set up. So yeah, just a little reminder. Now I'm going to just weed it out. Now I'm going to just cut it because, you know, I am going to print 1 circle in each ceramic, and I'm using the Cricut scissors. They're so cute. Before I continue, I'm going to set up my Easy Press 2 and the mat. This is very easy to use. All you have to do is go to the website. It has all the settings and guidelines, so you don't have to be stressing about it. For example, I am using the infusible ink transfer sheet and the ceramic coasters. So now it's going to give me the temperature and the timer. So now I'm going to put the transfer sheet, and then I'm going to add some butcher paper to the top and the bottom. So now that is at 400, I'm going to press the little C or the Cricut symbol, and then place the Easy Press right on top of the ceramic and just hold it until it hits to 0. Once it hits 0, all you have to do is place the Easy Press back on the base, and now wait a couple of seconds before you try to touch it or do anything to it. I did let mine cool down, and then I did move it, and then I continue with the rest of the ceramics. I'm going to repeat the same steps for the rest of the coasters. Now that they're all cooled down, I'm going to show you that revealed, and oh my gosh, I was so impressed with these things. The color is beautiful. To finish these off, I'm going to add an initial to each coaster. So I went back to the Cricut design space and printed the initials out, and I'm using the black permanent vinyl. To make this easier and faster, I did cut these before I started to weed them, so I did weed them individually. I then transfer it to the coaster. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing to all 4 coasters. And that is it for these coasters. I think they turn out beautiful. That vinyl is stunning. It was so easy to use at Easy Press, and I cannot wait to play with it some more. For my next DIY, I will be using a Dollar Tree hat. I am going to add a design on one of the triangles, so I do want to measure it, how big I want my design to be. Now for the vinyl, I will be using this holographic vinyl. This is an iron-on, and oh my gosh, it is stunning. It's beautiful. This specifically here has 3 different shades. I am going to use more of a pinker, like a light pink one. There is like a darker blue and green here, as you can see. Or wait, you can't really see it because of the glare. I'm going to just cut the vinyl like that. I don't waste a lot of the vinyl since I already know the measurements of my hat. The next thing I will be doing is just placing it on the mat and then going to my Cricut design space and design the image I want. So for instance, right here, all I did was type palm tree and I inserted the picture I liked. Then I went back and just made it to the size I wanted. And then after that, all I did was type in Maria and I used the font Chloe. Now, in order for it to print together like this, you do have to go to like the bottom and weld it together or group it together. No, it's called weld it, sorry. And then just weld it like that. It's going to print together. And don't forget that every time you want to iron, especially a name, you do have to mirror the image. Now, all I did was just go to the material and put the holographic vinyl that I was using, so like that it cuts it nice and perfectly. And that is it. All I did was just wait for the machine to cut my image. The next thing I did was just weed the image. I'm going to set up my machine to the temperature it needs to be. While that is heating up, I'm going to set up my hat. Now, I did need to use a towel to put it underneath, not underneath, inside. So like that, my hat is nice and flat. Now, my hat was wrinkled, so I just put on the iron thing and it ironed it. As you can see, it made it better. After that, all I'm doing is just placing the design or the picture. Then I'm going to make sure it is nice and straight or the way I want it. Then I'm going to put in the press. And all I have to do is wait 30 seconds. The last thing I did was just remove the plastic, and oh my gosh, this turned out beautiful. That holographic iron vinyl is stunning. I love how my hat turned out, and I cannot wait to wear it to the beach. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.